Hello again and welcome to Eat These Words. Today I am going to be doing a Yorkshire favourite. It's something that you may have heard of but don't necessarily know what it is. So without no further ado, let's get into it. We're making Fat Rascals. To make Fat Rascals, what you need to do is put 175 grams of plain flour, so if you're American it's all purpose, and 175 grams of self-raising flour, which is more like a cake flour if you will, into a bowl. We're then going to add to that 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Pop those in there. We're going to mix that through. Fat Rascals are a cross between a rock bun, which you'll see on my channel, I'll link it below for you, and scones, which if you follow my channel at all, you'll know I make a lot of scones. This is like a hybrid of the two, and that's what we're going to be making today. Okay, once you've got that mixed in, it's time to add in 175 grams of butter spread, plant-based spread, whatever you want to use. And we're going to use a pastry, well I'm going to use a pastry cutter. You can use your finger and thumb if you wish, or you can do it in a food processor as well. Mix that in. Now Fat Rascals come from Yorkshire traditionally and the North East, where they were originally known as turf cakes, which is, it's like the remains of the dough for the day that had lots of dried fruit pushed into it, and then they were baked over a turf fire overnight. They were like little flat cakes, if you will. It's the age-old thing in England. Use up what, use up and make do. And that's where they get the name. That's where they get the name turf cakes from. In 1983, a tea room opened up. Excuse me, I'll just cut this up, else we'll be here all day. While I'm at it, put your oven onto gas mark 4. I'll put the conversions on the screen now for you. There was a tea room opened up called Betty's Tea Room. I think it opened up in Harrogate. It wasn't actually owned by a lady called Betty, funnily enough. It's owned by a gentleman actually, who just called it Betty because he thought it sounded better than, I think he had a French name or something. And they changed the recipe slightly to accommodate the masses, and basically added what we know today as a Fat Rascal to it. They added a few spices, a lot more fruit, and they used, well, they made a gimmick out of it really so it would sell. They put a face on the top, which, let's be fair, that's pretty good idea really. And now everybody from far and wide come to Betty's Tea Rooms to actually taste their Fat Rascals. But they are a nice little delicacy. They're about the size, when you get them made, of a hand, so about the size of that. They're big, but they're substantial. Yeah, so it's just a bit like a scone, but a bit more cakey. Anyway, we're nearly there. We want this to be resembling fine breadcrumbs. Don't feel that you have to stick to the spices that I'm telling you. Yes, the traditional recipe has cinnamon and nutmeg in it, but you could put whatever spices you've got available in your cupboard. And if after trying my recipe you think there's not enough spices in, then by all means change that too. At the end of the day, the point about making your own stuff is that you can adjust it to your taste. So give that a bit of a shaky, shaky, shaky. There we go. I think this recipe is actually from the late 1800s, maybe like mid 1850s. It's difficult to know when because it was adjusted quite a lot. Right. So once you've done that, you've got your nice fine breadcrumb consistency. or as fine as you can get it. Just put my hands through it just to make sure. Looks good to me. We're going to pop in there, smells nice as well, 175 grams. There's a theme here, isn't there? 175 grams of everything, so it's really easy to remember. Equal quantities is what I'm saying. We've got 175 grams of dried fruit here, mixed dried fruit. And in that mixed dried fruit is some citrus, so I'm going to pop that in. Along with the zest of an orange. This is a blood orange, so don't judge me, but it'll give it a nice colour if nothing else. It's the only one I've got in the house. If you don't have an orange to hand, then by all means use essence. I would just put a few drops in though, you don't need a lot. Remember as well, when you're zesting, it's not the white bit, it's not the, oops, I'm throwing it everywhere, it's not the bit underneath, it's just the top. That's where all the flavour is and all the oils are. So don't use the white bit, please, because it will be bitter. Give that a tap. And then we're going to zest a lemon as well. I have to say, I've been to Betty's Tea Room, well, I haven't actually had anything there, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I've been to York, and which Betty's Tea Rooms is in these days, and I've been to Harrogate, and each time I cannot get near Betty's Tea Rooms, the queue is always, and I mean always, out the door and round the street and up the road, etc, etc. There we go. So I've never actually had anything. 120 grams of caster sugar, just pop that on top, it's fine. There's no hard and fast rule to how you do this, guys. It's just whatever works for you. If you want to put the sugar in before you start making, before you start putting in the butter and everything, that's fine, don't worry. These recipes are just guidelines. So give it a good mix. Get that fruit distributed evenly. I'll just move that out of the way. Get the fruit distributed evenly throughout your mixture. Just a bit. Make a well in the middle, like a little well. 2 eggs to the mix. So that's 1. 2. Give it a whisk. So that's 2 eggs. And just like broth buns, what we're going to do is pop the eggs into the mixture. And then using your fork, mix it in. You may need a little bit of milk for this, because you should have a mixture that resembles scone mixture. So I've got some semi-skimmed milk, which I'm going to put in here. Just a little bit, not a lot. There's about a tablespoon, maybe less there. And then see where we're at. It should be wet, but not sticking to your fingers. It should feel moist and it should not stick to your fingers. So I'm going to get my hands in here and see if we can bring it together. It may need a little bit more, but we'll see. A little bit more milk maybe, but we'll see. Right, so give it a knead. Now by knead I just mean pull it together. The art of pulling it together. Just press together gently. Don't overwork it, just so it comes into one homogeneous mass. Like that word, homogeneous, nice. So just bring it together. Nearly there. I think that needs a tiny bit of milk down the bottom there. And just bring it in. There we go, that's better. So that was roughly 2 tablespoons, maybe less. It depends on where you are in the world, as I keep saying. What's going on with your weather and all kinds, how much milk you're gonna need. And as you can see, that's just brought it together amazingly. Taking a piece of baking parchment, line a baking tray. You want it big enough so that these can spread slightly. This is I think it's a 13 by 10 tray. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit, just not a lot, just a little bit, just to stop it from sticking, of flour onto my board here. And then taking your dough, we're going to cut this into 6 equal portions, which, as I said before, these are humongous. These are not for the faint-hearted. So we're going to squish it down a little bit so that we can get 6 pieces out of this. So down the middle, that's 2 pieces. So we'll put that to one side. Then I'm going to extend it slightly so that I can get a good cut on it. Yeah. And then we want 3 equal parts. I think that's about right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we're going to take our tray and we're going to put it floured side down and press down gently. There we go. So it's about 1.5 centimetres thick. And then we're going to decorate. So the traditional way to decorate is a glacé cherry chopped in half and made to look like eyes, and then some blanched almonds, so that's 1, 2, 3 blanched almonds, and just push down slightly. Make sure you get them quite close together, because if you don't, the face will distort. And then we're going to pop them in the oven, gas mark 4, for about 20 minutes, give or take. So I'll be back with you when these lovely beauties have been in the oven. So this is my Fat Rascal. Just look at that, whoops. And yes, he is as big as my hand. There you go. Like it said. Now, you're supposed to eat these warm with lots of butter. So I've got some butter, albeit spread. I'm going to cut a little bit off the end, which is absolutely heaving with fruit, and put some butter on it. Okay, don't judge me. Lashings of butter. So here goes. It tastes like a hot cross bun. It's got all the fruit, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. I would say it's slightly drier than a rock bun. Not as dry as a scone, so there you go. But there you go. Enjoy.